Ayo, what up? It's your girl bewltchedfaun, coming in with episode 23 of Faun's Horror Corner, a series where I watch a random horror movie on Tubi and we talk about it. This week I watched The Descent from 2005. The description Tubi gave us was, a spelunking trip turns to horror when a cave collapse entombs a group of friends in darkness, making them prey to the flesh-eating creatures below. So full disclosure, I have seen this as well as the sequel. I just don't remember jack shit from the sequel, but this movie is a banger, I can tell you that much. Let's get on into it. We begin with family fun time. Nothing ever goes wrong with family fun time. They're just doing some sick shit I don't have the balls to do. They return ashore and the vibes are fun. Sarah's husband is very helpful towards Juno and it's time to leave. Off we go. Sarah asks her man why he's so distant and they crash Final Destination style. Sarah is awake now and running. Her friend catches her and to summarize, her man and daughter are gone. And now we have the title card. Welcome to Appalachia. This is a year later. Sarah and Beth are driving to the meetup. Beth seems like a real homie, but we've arrived now. And we meet Juno again. And now it's time to meet the others. It's a very warm welcome and everyone seems to be catching up and having fun banter. And we meet Holly, who is learning under Juno. Holly shit talks Juno's choice of cave. Borum Caverns? That shit's for babies. But Juno insists that tomorrow is gonna be fucking baller, trust and believe. It's the next day and Juno is waking everyone the fuck up. We're about to leave, but group photo first. Sausage! And off we go to Borum Caverns. We have arrived and Juno leaves the guide for Borum Caverns in the car. Good choice. We go on a bit of a hike and we learn the rules. Number 1 is file a plan and stick to it. Number 2 is don't go wandering off. Easy enough. They encounter a whole moose carcass on their route, very fun, but worry not because we've reached the cave and that shit goes straight down. No fucking thanks. Juno goes first and touches down and the rest follow suit. Not to be that bitch, but how are they planning on getting out? You couldn't pay me enough to do this shit. Your girl is a big bitch baby. Sarah found some weird finger indents in the rocks and Juno is just vibing. Now they continue down into the cave. Love that for them. These claustrophobic shots are actually like top tier. I could never. They light a flare and we see a nice glimpse of this big cavern. There's an actual person back there, right? Well, Sarah hears giggling and is investigating. Kind of breaking rule number 2, queen, but mama didn't race no snitch, so pop off. Juno jump scare. It's lunchtime. Juno has some real talk with Sarah and apologizes for not being around after the accident. Sarah is going to wander and find the next path in the meantime. And of course, it's a tight fit. Becca is concerned because she read the Borum Caverns book and this seems pretty different. But Juno was like, fuck books, bro, so we chillin'. Holly goes first, and after a lot of claustrophobic shimmying and a little rumbling, she's made it out. Juno and the others follow behind. Sarah at the end of the line. The others have made it out, but Sarah is kinda struggling and Beth has noticed. She is stuck, which is a fucking nightmare. Beth talks her through it. She's telling her to breathe. It's not working, so she climbs back down to remind her to breathe, trying to calm her down. She tells a silly joke and gets Sarah moving a bit again. But the cave is rumbling and the rope bag has to get left behind so they can get the fuck out, because that shit's falling. Everyone made it out in one piece, but there was a cave-in. Becca is saying that there are multiple exits according to the book. Right, Juno? Well, actually, this isn't Borum Caverns. They can't even get rescued because where the fuck are they? Juno wanted them all to discover a new cave. Juno is getting roasted to bits over this and says that they all lost something in that crash, which is a weird flex, but okay. Juno gives a motivational speech and it's time to keep moving. So, crawling down another narrow path is a strat, but they're halted at quite the fucking cliff, and that shit is far down. Their best bet is to rope across, but the extra rope bag is gone, so they're limited. But Becca is giving it her all to get the rope set, so shout out to this badass. She spots an old hook, so clearly they're not the first here, and she uses that in this trek to make it across. Kick some ass, Becca. Holly makes it across, as well as Sam. Beth is the next one. Juno and Sarah have beef before crossing, but Sarah makes it, and Juno salvages some rope and goes across like a badass, saving as many resources as she can along the way. But an uh-oh happens and she's hanging by the rope, but the girls are working together to pull her up. Becca's hand got really fucked up though. They note that they weren't the first people here, but clearly they never made it out because the cave remained undiscovered and unnamed. So that's fun. Holly is already figuring out the next path ahead and everyone follows suit. They find some neat cave drawings. Beth requests a flare be lit and we see the whole cave art. She's big brain as fuck because she noticed that there are 2 entrances noted. Juno uses a lighter to find the next path and Holly is already zooming ahead. She sees some light and keeps keeps hauling, against everyone's warnings. And she slips, barely holding on to Juno, and down she goes. That definitely hurt. And her leg is real fucked up now. Everyone works together to move Holly, and they're doing some last-minute first aid on her. Sarah hears some giggling and follows it. Juno noticed, but there's a more important emergency at hand right now. Sarah finds an old hat, and Holly is getting a bone pushed back in. But Sarah hears a strange sound and follows it. And what the fuck even is that? Looks like the falmer from Skyrim. Juno jumps scared. She doesn't believe Sarah saw anything, and the others seem skeptical too. She says that it was a man, but I mean, like, are you sure about that? Yeah, I guess so. More importantly, y'all need to get the fuck out of here. Juno leads the way using a lighter. They enter a new open cavern and use the camera to see, but that's a lot of fucking bones. And there's no breeze to guide Juno to a direction, so that's not great. Now they're desperate and just yelling for help. And Falmer jump scare. And it fucking crawls on the ceiling too, like, no thank you. They're all shitting a brick, understandably. The Falmer screeches and they're all locked in place, cause like, what do you even do? They're all running away together and yeet the flare. But Falmer jump scare. He's fucking around and attacks Holly. Yeah, she's down. The Falmer and Juno are fighting for Holly's body as the rest run away. But Sarah takes a tumble and that didn't look good. Juno starts beating on the Falmer like a badass, and they're in a whole ass fight again. And ultimately, she wins this fight. Rock on, Juno. Beth came over in the wrong moment and Juno clocks her in the crossfire. Real talk, I can't even be mad at Juno about this. Like, she was fighting for her life and was definitely still pumped with adrenaline. I can't blame her for having her fight or flight kick in like that. It's unfortunate, but in this situation, I really can't dog on her about this outcome. I think it could have happened to anyone. Beth begs her not to leave, but Juno is shaken and does just that. Now we see Becca and Sam moving forward, but they're not alone. And Sarah wakes up after her stumble, surrounded by bones again. She hears a creature and hides, using the camera to see around her. A corpse drops down and a group of them appear and start feeding. Becca and Sam are doing their thing, hiding from a creature. And on Sarah cam, we see one of these guys up close. But Juno is nearby and yelling for Sarah, and it scares the group off. While Sam and Becca have one crawling over them basically, it yells and whatnot, but it doesn't attack and it wanders off. So obviously these things are blind as fuck. But an alarm on a watch goes off, so they have to throw it, and he's kind of playing with that now. But Juno is still yelling, and Becca points out that they're all gonna be on her ass 'cause she be fucking yelling a lot. Sarah's on the move as well and finds some old things left behind, which is very fun. Juno keeps hollering and notices a creature lurking in front of her and keeps going. Sarah is smart as fuck and makes her own torch. Sam and Becca are making their way through, but Falmer jump scare, and Becca is trying to fight him off, but he's sniped. Juno is here and she's a fucking beast, dude. She tells them that the monsters took Holly and Beth. They're both dead. Sam gives us a rundown on the creatures. They're blind and use sound to hunt, similar to bats. They can live contently here in the dark. Juno tells us that they go above ground to hunt and bring their food down here through an entrance. So the strat is to stay quiet, evade, and follow the trail of whoever was down here before them. But Sarah is nowhere to be found, so she's the next step. Before Sarah can get far though, Beth is in the feeding pit and they have a chat. Beth tells her Juno did this and she left her to die. Don't trust Juno. Just get the fuck out. And one last dig. Beth was holding something of Juno's. A gift from Paul, Sarah's husband. Yeah, Juno is boinking him. Beth begs Sarah to take her out, and Sarah does just that. Falmer jump scares. Sarah isn't fucking around and stomps that bitch. Why does this one have to have titties? Well, Sarah is running and falls into this blood pool. I'm so weak, dude. I would straight vomit. But it ain't over. One is in with her and they're fighting now. But Sarah is a badass and kills this one with an antler, I think. But another one is here, and Sarah stays still as it literally walks on her, and it investigates and drools. He walks off and she reaches for the weapon and clocks that one too. Stay badass, Sarah. The other two want to leave Sarah, but Juno wants to help her get out. Sounds are nearby and Juno's group is fucking swarmed by the creatures, so they're all running away. Sam reaches a cliff and has to climb across. She gets a rope in place and is just hanging. Juno arrives and tells her she doesn't have enough rope, and Becca tries to help too, but a creature starts swinging at her and opens her throat up. But she does get a stab in on him, but yeah, she's dead. Now Becca has been grabbed and dragged, and she is a creature snack. Juno has no choice but to jump. She lands in water and fights the creature, twists the knife inside it, and wins this fight. Juno is scaling up these rocks now, and Sarah pulls her up, and she sees Sam is hanging around. Now they're face to face. She asks about Becca. Yeah, she's dead. What about Beth? Yeah, she's dead. But Sarah knows more than Juno thinks. They keep moving anyways. They walk into an area with 3 creatures sitting around. They all begin approaching and it's a group fight. Ultimately, the girls reign supreme like absolute bad bitches. Sarah and Juno stand face to face now. Sarah wielding an axe. And Juno's gift. She knows where this is going. Creatures are nearing and Sarah stabs Juno in the knee and leaves her behind. Creatures are swarming Juno and she screams as Sarah runs away. But she slipped further down and wakes up to daylight poking in. And she climbs up the pile of bones and breathes in fresh air once again. Runs through the woods, enters the vehicle, and drives the fuck away. She pulls over and has a solid cry, which is understandable understandable. A big rig honks as he drives by and she voms. But shy of surprise, that was a dream. And that's it, that's the movie. Let's get into my afterthoughts. This is another one of those movies where it doesn't really matter how many times I've seen it. I thoroughly enjoy it every single time. It's a well done claustrophobic movie that makes me more scared of exploring caves than I already was. But let's get into my talking points. What did you think of the story? Good shit, dude. I mean, it had multiple things going on at once, and it didn't feel overwhelming. Like, it all blended together seamlessly. Like Sarah dealing with her trauma and grief, Juno boinking Sarah's man, Juno tricking them into a new cave system. And even further in, you have the shit with Beth and whatnot. Like, you know, every point of drama was well thought out and executed, and it really keeps you invested and on your toes. What did you think of the ending? I think it was solid. I mean, open-ended endings, Jesus, that was a sentence. I think when these kind of endings are done right, they're fucking good. Like this one. We know she was knocked out from the slip, but we don't know if there's actually an exit in front of her or not. And I think that level of mystery to the ending for this movie is what we needed. It's an anxiety and tension-filled movie, and it keeps going right to the very end. I loved it. Overall thoughts? Top tier shit. This movie is gold to me. Just everything about it, ranging from the characters, the drama, the creatures, everything was just good. They built dread from the very beginning, and this movie really showed no mercy from start to finish. Major respect. Favorite kill? This is hard because I liked all the characters, but the one that's sticking around in the old noggin is Sam hanging above that ledge because the monster like ripped her throat open. Best and worst character? Best is going to the most obvious, Sarah. She was a fucking badass, and I can only hope in my wildest dreams that she actually makes it out of the cave eventually. Worst is Sarah's husband. Fuck that guy. As for the tier list, this is going up top. This is one of my favorite movies, and I think this is worth a watch for anyone who hasn't seen it. And for Character Hall of Fame, I was really fucked up about this one because I was bouncing back and forth on whether I wanted to add Juno or Sarah on here, or hell, even just Beth, because she was a real homie. But I think I'll leave them as honorable mentions for now. They were all collectively badass, and Beth was just a true fucking homie. Well, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, I upload these every Saturday around 12 p.m. Eastern, as long as life doesn't get in the way. So if you enjoy, then feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. Do what you want. I can't tell you what to do. My socials are down below, as well as the link to the movie so you can watch it yourself and form your own thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you think if you decide to watch it. Next week, we will watch The Descent 2 to wrap up the series. Thank you one more time for watching. Stay safe and spooky, y'all.